What's going on? Back to back weeks with recording content. Finally, we're back in it. It's kind of funny now that I'm back into like recording weekly updates. I actually was like, I think yesterday and 2 days ago, I was thinking like, man, I feel like recording video and like getting my thoughts out a little bit. So that's very interesting that I start to think about recording myself, putting my thoughts down, just getting back into it. I definitely see that it's good, a way to reflect. I was also listening to My First Millionaire podcast this morning, and they also said something similar where you just sometimes you have to write out like your thoughts and everything, and also like when they do like critical thinking and like projects, because then it makes you fill in the blanks, they said, which was interesting. Like otherwise in your head you just fill out the blanks and this and I have it in my head, but if you write out you kind of have to fill out those blanks because otherwise it just looks like crap on the paper. So that was interesting, and I feel the same there. I just, when I sit down and I write some points and topics, I kind of go over the week and think back what happened, which is like a nice reflect moment. Like ideally I would maybe write like daily and just summarize that into a weekly update, but I really got into that because there's a lot of things in the day that I would say miss now that I look back a week. I definitely don't remember all my thoughts and everything. But yeah, that being said, content is popping off is a little bit more promising than it is. It's like the first time ever like I had a post do decently well, and I have my social media manager who does everything, so it's definitely all to him. But for Agape, I did like a post, or we did a post, and let's say we did like podcast post clips for a while. It was like around 2,000, 3,000 views usually. Then we did a little bit more like my business, like my clothes and everything, very little views. Then I did a little bit more like showing myself in the car wearing it, and then now I was actually in Lofoten, which is probably the nicest part in Norway. Like it's very subjective of course, but it is one of the definitely top 3 destinations in Norway, so that the nature was insane. I was filming a lot, and then I showed him a lot of the nature clips, and he's actually using those clips and just overlaying like a simple inspirational text. And today, he posted yesterday, today it has like 20k views, which is kind of crazy. Like that's never happened to me anywhere near to what I've done. So it's like I can consider that being popping off. But the interesting part is he's posting like a lot of like super nice nature clips. But the clip that's popping off is actually me just opening my terrace door, and it's like a super nice rainbow. Like when I woke up to it and it was super bright, so that's why I filmed it, and that's one that's popping off. So it's interesting because people always say that like we do like crazy content strategies and we do this and that hyper edits, but then often it's like, I should say stop saying like a lot less, so we'll try that, but often it's the simple setup. You just whip up your phone that don't do well, and this was the same thing. Of course I needed a super nice rainbow. It's not just me recording myself, but it's very interesting that I wasn't even thinking about using that and just filmed it, and I was like I was just sending it to my social media guy and he did something with it, and that's the one that did well. So it's very interesting, and I definitely now notice as well, going into the next topic, that now once you get into the flow, I would say I was very bad at just filming here, filming there, recording this, recording that, but now that I'm into the flow, I see I'm much more quicker, or much like thinking a lot more about it. So I went to like should stop saying like it's so crazy. I went to this business hub in the area, and I was just having a meeting, and then afterwards I just sitting around my PC. So then I just whipped up the tripod, filmed myself a little bit here and there, and I was thinking at that moment to myself, before I would never even think about this, I would just sit down on my laptop and work. So that's very interesting, like very interesting to see for myself. One thing that definitely helps is having a content calendar. That's not so much for the inspiration, but just for the structure. I'll zoom out a little bit. So what I've done so far is structure into like similar posts. So Mondays are always website redesigns. I've been pretty decent at filming those. It's just old websites / news websites, my thoughts on it, what was bad with the old one, what's good with the new one, technical but also more like psychological and analytical, what what has been improved. Of course, design-wise, that's usually the biggest change, but it's often also structure-wise what's done better now. Tuesday is short form, so like a reel, just all those kind of stuff. Wednesday, nothing. Usually on Wednesdays, I actually record these videos that I'm doing now and I post them on Thursday. So that's the weekly recap video. And then Friday is more of a value-based video. So here, like last Friday, I did when I make Framer websites, how I integrate and how I set up a backend CRM system that I use on Go High Level. So how I even set that up, it's very easy, but I don't see a lot of people doing it. I know a lot of people use Framer and I know a lot of people use Go High Level, but I don't see a lot of way integrated, and it's very easy. It's just a form. Like the way I do it is just through forms. Whenever they fill out the form, yeah, you can check the video out to go deeper if you're interested in that. That's not so interesting for this video. But it definitely helps having this structure, because now I have to film this, and if I don't do it, I feel like bad towards my editor, my social media guy as well, because I told him, well, I'll film this, and then now I did like super last minute and he has to edit it. So it's definitely pushes you towards the direction. Next point is that I was at that business hub, and then actually they have offices available. I just went from another office back to home because I didn't need one, and it's just saving money where you can. Like, it's not necessary. But on the other hand, where I had the office, it was just like a normal business, and then it had 2-3 office spaces. This is like a business hub, so the whole building is just, you can rent, it's like office spaces, so that's what they all do. And it's very much, here you can connect, here you can like come together, here you can network, and that's literally for me more worth it when you rent the office than the actual space where you sit and work. Of course, I definitely see when it's nicer to kind of go out of the house, get into the work zone and work there. That definitely helps. But yeah, that's just one interesting thing that I think could be worth it. Definitely want to discover that. Next up is Framers the Future. This literally yesterday, on the time of recording this, 17th of December, they just released Design Pages, which is basically Figma, which has been the go-to design tool the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. Maybe not so long, definitely 5. And now they basically eliminated the need for it. They were one of the first ones that were, in a way, like Figma to Framer, so you can do designs and try to make it easy to import those designs to actual websites. And I think Figma came with design websites, so then they were kind of trying to be Framer. And now Framer's flipping the script and saying, we don't need you guys anymore. So which is super interesting, because then the type of clients I deal with don't really need that. They're more like small ones. They don't need the design first. They don't need all that shebang. But it's definitely interesting for the future and moving forward, because that's what I write as well. I want to be at the forefront, not behind. I feel with everything I've done so far in my business. So first of all, it's meta ads, then it's been websites, SEO. Like, this has been going on for 10, 15 years. Facebook ads definitely in like 2016 was like hot, and then I only just started, so I wasn't good and I didn't have clients. Websites and SEO has been going on for long, so I've always been like, in a way, behind, which has not been a bad thing, but I definitely believe so much in Framer that I'm thinking I want to be on the forefront here and try to be like an expert in the field and be like a voice. So that's why I have literally opened a group called Framer Norway. So I want to be the first one in Norway having a group where people can share, potentially having events, doing all that. Secondly, I'm now applying to a Framer Expert badge so that I can be ranking on their website. In addition, I can actually get commission sales, I can get affiliates deals, I get the whole, I can just get into that ecosystem of Framer, which I think is going to be super interesting. So I'd say right now I have like local clients, local service business, but then Framer is in a way a little bit more towards SaaS and like startup and that whole world. So I definitely want to discover that world a little bit as well. Definitely I want to niche down, but if I have like a nice system for developing websites plus the design, I think that could be a very good addition, because I've been now having a guy who builds my frame websites. I have another developer now who's going to make a website from scratch, so I can apply it to the program. So like trying to like go into that that way is going to be very interesting. Definitely thinking about like a whole process where I first will design everything on Framer, so the old Figma setup. Then we'll get approved, we'll maybe make a logo, but just display everything as well in Framer. If that's okay, we'll go into phase 2, which is then actually a super nice website developed, functional, and then we deliver that, and then in the end we can make like a whole package. Here's like the branding package, here's the website, here you go crazy. So I think that's in my head. It looks very nice. I just have to work it out, of course. Like I said, the people that I have right now, my clients, don't really need that whole shebang, because it just complicates the whole process, which is unnecessary. But yeah, the bigger clients, which I want to go after now, definitely appreciate that work that I know. But yeah, that being said, quickly updates. So Grow Operate, I don't want to spend too much time. We have two clients, and they do okay. They're kind of like optimized. We just do here and there some new work, and this month actually for some reason popping off, which is crazy. Agency is definitely the most focused right now. Super interesting that we have a 30% rev deal. We were kind of talking about how much rev we're doing, but this is literally like a junk shark removal business, and that's what I've kind of been wanting to work towards, having a collaboration with like an operator who just can fulfill the work and we do all the marketing. So that's super interesting. It's in America as well, so that's basically a deal that's done and dusted. So our guys already made a logo and a website. We're setting up all the backend infrastructure now, like the Facebook, the Go High Level, and now we literally just have to market it, and he can do all the fulfillment. The crazy thing is, it's going to be junk removal, so he's going to remove the junk, get money for that, but then we have a deal where we can actually we can choose what we do with the trash. And let me tell you, it's not always trash, it's often very interesting things that we can sell. So it's like, it's not a business part, but in a way it is, because it will actually generate us revenue, so that's going to be super interesting. This thing is interesting when it rains and pours, especially for the American business. Suddenly this week, literally, or last week, in a way, like from last Thursday to now, which is then 7 days, but this week and last week, suddenly 2-3 extra clients came to us, not us reaching out. It's just referral. This deal was last week, and then another old contact of ours also wanted us to run the ads, which is more like a growth operator funnel in a way, and their current guy just completely sucked. So it's just all these small things that come to us, which is super interesting. Definitely, again, very open on this moment. Last week or a week before, actually, a little bit more like, bro, what am I gonna do? I can even show the screenshot. My bank account was 0, business account was almost 0, and I was just waiting on a lot of money coming in, and people were just not paying. I was even arguing with a client of mine, because he's just paying super late, and it's just what happens. So very crazy, very weird feeling to kind of like almost no money to do stuff, but then there's a lot of money coming, which is just the nature of business. But yeah, it's definitely nice to then see that when you just put everything over to the Lord, put it in the hands, and you just give it over, that you just pray that everything will be right. And I believe that's what's happening. So then suddenly after that, a lot of things happen again. That being said, I definitely see then how it's nice to keep the retainers going, what I wrote here. I've had like 2-3 clients, maybe a few months, that were decent retainers, stop for a while, and then now they've been starting again. Also, I've been waiting on the money, but the point here actually is the opposite, that while in the past, while sometimes other projects were a little bit struggling, I had 2-3 nice retainers always going, and that definitely in itself, it would not be enough to keep the business afloat and keep me like nice and comfortable. But it's literally that those set like a certain standard of revenue, and then you do a lot of extra work like a website here and there, which then build up on top of that, and that's what's nice. So I definitely see like when those retainers fall away, it's very sad. Of course, you never want retainers to go away, but it's crazy how nice subscription model is, because it just keeps coming every month, even sometimes when you forget. Definitely have a lot more website clients now coming in as well, so that portfolio is building. So after like maybe a year or two now, when I keep focusing on websites, it will be very nice to see, let's say, that benchmark of revenue that I have now, just let's say double or triple, where then in a way, let's say, that would cover my cost, that would cover my salary, and then all the work, like the Turbicent revenue deal and all the extra websites that happen, that would be just like bonus. So that money we can reinvest, we can do stuff with, and then the website clients kind of supply all my direct costs. That's the direction I want to go, because I know these website clients will just stick for a long time. So it's definitely predictable for maybe a year, even maybe longer. You could say these ones are not going anywhere. So that's very cool. Agape, to not keep this too long, but Agape, again, content has been super good. First 20k view video. Like I said, it's not even generating so many followers or sales, but it's just so cool to see that it's working, that we're doing a strategy, we're doing content, and it's actually generating views and generating traffic and engagement, which is better than nothing, I think. And also I've been talking to the local, he's like a business advisor, that their whole business is that, like conceptualizing startups, and not like startups in that way, but just people starting, not like a crazy startup, but just like local businesses starting up. They kind of help with ID creation and, you know, logo, like the whole branding package and that. So I've been talking with them, and I kind of proposed Agape, and I said I kind of use this as my own project to kind of come back to clients with strategies. And like, for example, now I can show that I had 20k views on a video after doing the strategy. So that's very good to see that Agape can work as that. So I mentioned him, and he was kind of talking about maybe potentially getting funding. So very cool that that could be a nice way of getting a little bit more focus on Agape, when we would get some funding for it, and kind of fast forwarding the process of growing this brand and growing the idea of Agape. And because I know it's a little bit on pause and a little bit not so much time spending on it. So yeah, very cool times ahead. A little bit long video, I have a lot to say. I hope it's a little bit interesting, but yeah, I'm already looking forward to the next recap video. Actually, crazy how that works.